Throughout my journey, I have learned a lot from several popular coaches that create content here on YouTube. Like me though, I bet you struggle to figure out what are the most important pieces of information you can take away. So here are my top 10 things I learned from all of these coaches just for you. Let's start with the importance of aim training. It's no secret that in any FPS game, including Overwatch, having sharp aim can drastically improve your performance. Aim training isn't just about shooting targets though, it's about building the muscle memory to help your reflexes engage whenever there's a target that you need to flick to or track perfectly. I have personally found that the consistency in using aim training tools completely changes my reaction times and ability to track a target. And especially at the ripe young age of 28 years old, this prevents me from pulling my back in the middle of a session. More importantly though, it helps me hit those crucial shots in those high pressure situations. But remember, it's only one piece of the puzzle. Because here's the thing, while in-game mechanics can definitely significantly boost your rank, there's a cap to how much they can help. You'll need to complement your in-game mechanics with other skills to see sustained improvement over time. To that end, I've learned that starting your gaming session without a proper warm-up nearly guarantees a loss in your first game. If you don't lose, the likelihood that you contributed anything of value towards that win is very low. It's kind of like trying to run a marathon without stretching first. I mean, you might be okay for a little while, but ultimately you're just setting yourself up for failure. So I developed a short and simple routine to warm up that takes me roughly 20 minutes. I start by using that aim training we talked about a minute ago and doing that for about 10 minutes, splitting that time across your hero pool. Don't worry, we will discuss hero pool in this video. That short aiming session, like we said, helps get your reflexes warmed up. After those are warmed up, jump into a quick play game. The reason I say quick play and not to go straight into comp is to allow yourself to have a less stressful entrance into the game. But at least in quick play, you're still applying those warmed up aim mechanics into a real game setting. Try it out next session. You might be surprised how much better your first comp game goes. Something that's often overlooked but is crucial to ranking up is taking breaks. Spylo especially puts a huge emphasis on this. Like anything else you're trying to improve at in life, Overwatch can be very intense, and playing for too long without breaks leads to decreased performance. After realizing the importance of breaks, I asked myself, how often should I take breaks and for how long? While the answer can be different from person to person, here is what I developed after a very long period of time trying to figure it out. For your shorter sessions, try to at least take a 5-minute break every hour. Think of it as a small investment into your overall performance. Now, if you're planning to go for a longer session, make sure you keep it at a 2 to 3 hour maximum with a longer 30-minute break in between. Keep in mind, these aren't just breaks for your physical rest, they are huge for your mental as well. During these breaks, a huge thing is to get up away from your setup during them. This way you come back with a clear head and better focus, which is essential for consistent performance. I get it though, it can be tempting to play an off-roll game or even do a self-VOD review for this break. VOD reviews are helpful and off-roll games can be fun, but they are not a break. Speaking of off-roll games, let me share my experience with them. In the past, especially in the earlier part of my journey, I found them incredibly valuable. Fast forward to now, and I can honestly say that I wish I had realized the importance of sticking to just one role. Many players, myself included, enjoy flex queuing, but the problem is this spreads your limited practice time very thin. This typically leads to people being hard stuck in silver and gold across all of their roles and trying to coach your teammates on how to be better. I'm getting ahead of myself though. We'll talk about your teammates later. Focusing on one role allows you to dive into the nuances and excel in them. You also develop the ability to adapt to the difficult parts of your role much more quickly. It's kind of about building expertise in one area before expanding your skill set. So if you're serious about climbing, please just pick one role that you love and focus on it. Just doing this alone, you will see an improvement in that role because you're not spreading yourself thin across multiple. Continuing this idea of not spreading yourself too thin, please limit your hero pool a little bit more. Limiting your hero pool significantly enhances your gameplay. Yes, even as a tank player. Honestly, especially as a tank player. Y'all expect us to counterpick, take space, peel, do damage, take damage, get eliminations, and so much more. What I had to do was stop listening to the teammates that I had in my games that are at the same rank that I am. That's actually one thing that I learned from Awkward that I fully agree with him on. Back to the point, instead of trying to master the ability to play rock, paper, scissors very well, focus on 1 to 2 heroes within your chosen role. This specialization helps you to understand their strengths, weaknesses, and matchups much more thoroughly. A recent thing I'm trying to help iron out which heroes to play is to find the strongest adaptable heroes in the current meta. For instance, in the current season, I have chosen Ramatra and Diva because they are both very strong and can be played across Brawl, Poke, and Dive. Once you've mastered those 1 to 2 heroes, you begin to be able to broaden your fundamental understanding of your role. In doing so, you become a formidable player with a deep understanding of your chosen heroes. According to every coach that I've learned anything from, positioning is something you never quite perfect. Even at higher ranks like Grandmaster and Champion, players can fall into very poor positioning habits. With positioning being one of the most crucial aspects of Overwatch, right up there with your mechanics, one simple technique that I've developed is the idea of keeping your shoulder to cover. Practically speaking, what this means is exactly what it sounds like, keeping one of your 2 shoulders up against cover. This allows you to peek around the corners quicker and then quickly step back when you take too much damage. By consistently repeating that mantra in your head, you begin to develop a second nature to holding natural cover whenever possible and moving from cover to cover all the time. Doing this takes the pressure off of your supports to heal you constantly, enabling them to focus on more aggressive plays. This also lets you set up with more of your cooldowns for the next engagement. Stop blaming your teammates. Blaming teammates is a common pitfall of many players, myself included. It's super easy to get frustrated when things aren't going well, especially if you spend the entire game staring at the scoreboard. Justifying yourself, by the way, by typing your stat line in the chat just makes you look bad. If you are that worried about your KD, go play Call of Duty. Because the reality is, it doesn't matter all that much, and neither does any of the other players. And by the way, you can't control the other players and what they do. What you can control is your performance. Even if you're getting rolled or you have a lever, look for ways to improve and be the difference maker in your matches. This mindset shift has led to immense personal growth, not just in Overwatch, but in my life in general. It also creates a much more positive gaming experience when you're not worried about roasting your teammates. One of the best ways to identify areas that you can improve in is by learning from pros. Watching professional gameplay can provide insights into advanced strategies and techniques that you might not even be aware of. I personally want to recommend you check out OBS Sojourn over here on YouTube for some fantastic content. On her channel, you will find POVs from OWCS matches, and they are labeled according to what hero has been played and who the actual player was. So look for your particular heroes that you've chosen and try and find POVs from players that are infinitely better than you or me. Analyze these high-level players and you can pick up some valuable tips and tricks to incorporate into your own playstyle. As you do this, I promise you will see improvements in your game. It may not happen immediately, but over time, it will help. I do want to caution you though, don't overwhelm yourself. It's very easy to see all of the millions of things that pro players do better than we do because they're pro players. There's something called the Pareto principle that is very applicable here. The idea is that you want to do the things that require 20% of your effort, but will improve and help achieve 80% of the result. Essentially, find something that's easy and simple to change that will make a huge impact in your gameplay. Once you have found that one thing, Self-VOD reviews are an incredibly powerful tool to continue improving. But there is a catch to this because you don't want to do this too often. It's easy to set a rule like I did initially and review every single loss. And while I was very good at looking and sticking to that one thing that I was trying to improve, there was a problem. Looking at your losses is kind of like a dog revisiting its own vomit. Eventually, you know what happened, and it's just depressing to look at. What you want to do is review the games where you believe you put in your best effort and see where you could improve, regardless, by the way, if the game was a win or a loss. This helps you see if you are in fact improving at that one thing you are focused on over the course of your best played game. That said, the best rhythm I've personally found is to review one in roughly every 6 games. This has allowed me to learn from my mistakes and overall continue to refine my skills without overdoing it. Realistically speaking though, it can still be tough sometimes to find specific things to work on. Think about it, it's kind of like when you look at yourself in the mirror all the time, you just kind of get used to seeing what you've always seen. This is where an outside perspective through one-on-one coaching can be infinitely helpful. While self-study and practice are incredibly vital, personalized coaching can provide a tailored guide on what you need to do to make nuanced improvements. A coach will help you address specific weaknesses, refine your strategies, and push you to the next level. However, it is important that you work on the basics yourself. Aim training, warm-ups, and role specialization that we talked about earlier. Once you've laid this foundation, coaching can help you fine-tune the things that are left and achieve more targeted growth. Personally, receiving individual coaching has helped me get out of several ruts recently, and I'm really thankful for it. In the meantime, I have access to some excellent coaches, and in this video right here, one of them showed me a couple of basic tips that could also aid you in your next rank up.